everyone, and welcome to episode 105 of Gamestack podcast, Soylent Green. Rick, why is the show called Soylent Green?
Because that movie takes place in 2022.
Of course it does.
Well, and it's our first show of 2022.
Well, Soylent Green is people, and so are we. I'm Shalene, and joining me is Rick McVick.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm joining you from my new studio, i.e. my basement. I've blurred it out because it looks like an basement. So, yeah, I'm doing good. Did you have a good holidays?
I did. It was quiet. It was very, very calm and quiet. I stayed home. It was what I wanted from the holiday, was to stay home and see as few people as possible. So I did go visit my niece and nephew, so that was lovely. Their grandma made me tamales. It was fantastic.
I need some good tamales. Did you get him 2 copies of any particular video game title?
No. I just got him one Xbox Elite controller. Whatever those are called. I want to say it's called the Elite.
Like the Pro one with all
the
little...
one with the customizable buttons. And
oh my gosh.
It has paddles on the back and stuff. It's what he wanted.
That's a dope gift.
That's what he wanted, so.
Yeah. Those are cool, man.
Yeah, he took a long time to decide, and finally I had to threaten him with socks. Told him, if you don't tell me what you want, I'm getting you socks. And he knew I'd do it too.
I'm sitting on my Christmas present.
Oh, really?
A new chair. You can't see it.
I thought it was butt implants.
High back. No. No. I was gonna take it a step further, but no. Yeah, I have a new desk, so it's not the plywood thing anymore.
So no more splinters?
No. So, yeah, I moved. I don't know how I fit everything in that little room I was in upstairs, because the basement is literally the size of the foundation of my home, and I've effectively filled it with stuff. And so yeah, it's not complete yet. Not everything is wired up, but that's okay. But I'm functioning for today.
That's great. Yeah, my gift from my mom was this necklace, which is the Jedi symbol from Star Wars in diamonds, which I thought was pretty cool. So, dang. Yeah. I didn't know they made nice jewelry that's also Star Wars.
You know that they make expensive jewelry for the what's the opposite of thrifty? Bourgeois nerd, you know. So
that's fantastic. That's so great. Vendor's still on vacation. I think he went back to Canada today, but he was not able to join us just yet. So we'll have him back next week, and he will report on all of the exciting things that he did while he was on vacation. He can stand in front of the class and present his essay, what he did on winter vacation.
Yes. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right.
Wow, this is a very long and drawn out intro, and I'm sorry. No. It's been a while since I've done this.
Catching up. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. We have catching ups to do.
Yeah, I don't even remember how to do a show. It's been so long. But we are going to do a show that is brought to you by Oak and Crow Coffee. You can visit oakandcrow.com. That's oakandcrow.com to buy a bag of We Just Love Coffee, our proprietary coffee blend. And $2 from each purchase goes to Children's Miracle Network. So we pass whatever would be our profit right on to the Children's Miracle Network, and you can drink some coffee and feel good about it. And if you're watching live, go ahead and host us on Twitch. If you're not watching live, tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your grandma's friends, and help us grow the show. We do have some lovely new people who joined us on Discord since the last episode. Rick, would you like to introduce them?
Yes, we have Ops is new. Jessica Starr is back for Who Left for Science?
Yeah, she's not back from the corner of shame.
Right.
She's back because she left to do science.
Oh.
Your bot counts the number of people on the stack, and it
Yes.
can't seem to break that 440 mark of members on our stack. And
Because people
so
leave.
she just wanted to leave and come back and double check if it counts the people who leave, if it marks the people who leave as they leave.
No.
So
It counts the number of active users in the chat
Mm-hmm.
in the entire server. So
yeah.
if it never, yeah, I mean, we could have like 10 new people, but if 10 people leave, then it's
Mm-hmm.
just going to be the same.
So Jess did science, and now she's back.
Okay. And then we have Callie Butterfly.
I love that
and
name.
then Kamoon 94. Callie Butterfly just feels so 2002 AOL chat, doesn't it?
It kind
Callie
of does.
Butterfly?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
feels
I
like an
love it.
AOL chat name. Yeah. It's a great name.
Nice and nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you very
thank
much,
you for
Rick.
joining. And
And-
thank you to those people for joining and Jessica for coming back.
Indeed. If we wanted to join, if I was a listener at home and I thought, man, I just really want to hang out in this Discord server with these people, how would I do that, Rick? What would I do?
Well, you would go to the link at the bottom of this particular twitch.tv/we just love games channel, and you would click that link, or you could send us a private message on Twitter or by email at info@wejustlovegames.com, and we'll get you the link to get in.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Rick. So today we're going to talk about the news and our gameplay, and we have some emails that we would like to read that we've been neglecting for a couple of weeks. So we'll definitely get to those this time. But first of all, the news. Shout out to Joseph Tao for helping us put this together.
Always.
This just in. Rick, why don't you tell us about the new games that are coming out this January?
Yeah, it is the first month of 2022, and there are some new games coming out. Nothing crazy. Well, there's a little bit of stuff coming out, but it's not a heavy list. That's okay.
Now, February is going to be the heavy list.
Yeah, we spent all of our money on Christmas, and they're taking it easy on us. Anyway, Weird West is coming out on the 11th for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Monster Hunter Rise is coming out for the PC on January 12th. The Anacariris Early Access comes out for the PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S on January 13th. On January 14th, you get God of War on the PC. Sony's been kicking butt with those ports lately, so I still want to play Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's still like $50.
Yeah, it's a great game, but I feel like if the only thing that held you back was the controls, you needed mouse and keyboard controls, I think you should go for it.
I know, I will at some point. Rainbow Six Extraction comes out on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S in Stadia on January 20th. Also on the 20th, you get Blackwind on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and the Switch. Warno Steam Early Access on the PC on the 20th, as well as Windjammers 2.
What do you think Warno is? I'm hoping that it's some kind of a pacifist game, and you go around like putting daisies into rifle barrels, and you're like, war! No.
I think it's more along the lines of your character is a superhero, but instead of like stopping crime, you merely warn people that it's gonna happen. So you are Warno,
the amazing
Warno, the man who warns. Hey, you're about to get robbed.
Incredible.
See you later. Pew! When he flips away.
Okay, according to Steam, it is a realistic, immersive, and breathtaking game. It is the ultimate World War III battle simulator from the masters of strategy, Eugen Systems. A Cold War turns decisively hot as you command hundreds of units on a beautiful and brutal battlefield. Outsmart, outfight, and lead your forces to total victory.
Okay, this is an RTS.
That sure does look like an RTS, doesn't it?
It looks like a nice looking RTS, actually.
Those tanks are so beautiful.
I always wanted to get into RTSs, but I just never could. I never did could
Yeah.
get into them.
The only one I ever
But
made
yeah.
much progress on was the original Halo Wars. I tend to lose
Oh
interest in
yeah.
RTSs.
Yeah. The only RTS I ever played religiously was like I could never find it again. So if the web could do me a favor, or anybody listening to this, I got a disc. I'm pretty certain it was from the from a National Guard booth somewhere,
Like a
and it was like
recruiting booth?
a recruiting booth video game thing. It was like an RTS, but like not even like, and it wasn't even National Guard themed. It was just like at their booth. I think I can't. It's been so long. But you like the biggest gun you could get was a nuke, so that's what I would always get and work up to as the nuke. But like it had jeeps and planes and stuff like that. But I loved that stupid little thing. Um, anyway, so Warno comes out on the 20th. Windjammers 2 comes out on the PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and X, Switch and Stadia. Also on the 20th. On the 24th, you get Hidden Deep - Steam Early Access on the PC.
That one
On the
looks pretty cool.
26th, what's that about?
It looks like a Metroidvania type game where you fight like horrible I can't think of the word just now, but like monsters underground. It looks pretty
Oh,
rad.
so yeah, you can check out that rad game on the 24th. Kingdom of the Dead comes out on the PC on the 26th, as well as Diplomacy is Not an Option - Steam Early Access on the PC. On the 27th, you get Circuit Superstars on the PlayStation 4. On the 28th, this is the big one, the Pokemon Legends Arceus for the Switch, which is the Breath of the Wild like open world Pokemon, right?
Is it
I think
a
so.
Breath of the Wild like Pokemon game?
Yeah, they've been talking about the open world Pokemon game that's coming out. I
I
think
am
that's it.
intrigued. Sulior in the
Yes,
chat says
yes.
yes.
So there you
And
go,
he
an
would
open
know.
world Pokemon's game. And then on the 28th as well, Uncharted: Legacy of Thieves collection on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, when you have an Uncharted : that's when they have to bring in the little camera.
And the
Yeah,
thieves,
the little
colon thieves.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, there are some free games coming out for this January on the PlayStation Plus. It's Persona 5 Strikers, Dirt 5, and Deep Rock Galactic. They'll be available now until the end of January. Deep Rock Galactic is awesome. It's a fantastic co-op game. I love playing that game. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You're basically cheeky dwarves that go mining on a space rock, and it's fun.
That sounds
You shoot a
great.
bunch of aliens. It is actually one of my favorite games from last year. That's really good. Dirt 5 is also a fantastic game if you're into racing sims. All right. New games with gold for January of 2022. We're going to get Neurovoider this January. Agrounds is available from the 16th of January to the 15th of February. Radiant Silvergun is available from January 1st to January 15th. And Space Invaders Infinity Gene is available from January 16th through the 31st. Amazon Prime Gaming will offer 5 games this January: World Rallycross 7, 2 Point Hospital, Abandoned Ship, In Other Waters, and Paper Beast: Folded Edition. And yeah, so those are all the new games.
Great. That is fantastic. I am not super interested in any of them though. But that's okay. That's okay. Because you know what I am interested in? A nice manicure, Rick. I've had a really stressful couple of weeks, and I think I deserve to treat myself to a lovely manicure. And I can do that while also expressing my Xbox pride as an
Oh yeah?
Xbox gamer. Yes. Because there is an Xbox inspired nail polish collection from OPI, and it is Xbox themed. It's 12 springtime colors, and along with this nail polish, with certain, if you purchase it at certain shops, you can get color matched content for Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5. So I can
Nice.
have my Spartan dolled up in the same color as my nail polish, or my little Forza car. I don't know anything about cars, but I can paint it the same color as my nails. And the list, the names are kind of gaming themed names. One thing really bothers me profoundly about this nail polish collection.
Yeah.
There is a shade called Achievement Unlocked, which is a great nail polish shade name, and this should be Xbox Green, right? Wouldn't you imagine that this particular shade, Achievement Unlocked, would be that traditional Xbox Green, that, everything Xbox is just that one shade of
Yeah.
green?
That like neon green looking thing.
Yeah, that's what I would
Yeah.
expect from a shade called Achievement Unlocked. But instead, it's like a lilac pink type shade. It's a very,
Huh.
very pretty shade. It's probably one of my favorites in this collection, but it annoys me very much. That feels like such a missed opportunity that the Achievement Unlocked shade is not Xbox Green. There's also Pixel Dust, a shimmery mauve pink that will pixelate your world. Quest for Quartz, a shimmery rose quartz that will put you in the winner's circle. Heart and Console, which I thought was
That's
pretty
good.
cute. A shimmery crimson red that takes your nails to the next level. You Had Me at Halo, which
Yeah, I
is
saw that. That's a
a
nice
blue
one.
color. It's definitely like Cortana blue. So it's
Gotcha.
it's a Cortana blue with a little bit of shimmer, which I like a lot. Can't Control Me and Noob Berry are a couple of the other shade names that were pretty cute.
Elite.
But it's beautiful collection. The shades are very pretty, very springtime, very happy, vibrant, and OPI is quality nail polish. I used to wear it back in the day when I took the time to paint my nails. And I'll probably pick up a couple bottles of this and review them for Dames Who Game. So
Nice.
yeah, I do love the idea of matching my Spartan to my nails. I think that's just tremendously fun.
You would.
Of course I would.
You
That's the
would.
kind of thing that I would make happen anyway, like without a built-in, like I would be shopping for just the right color of nail polish to see if I could match my favorite color. I usually go with pink Spartans, though. I like to do pink Spartan armor. I think it's a nice touch. Pink and gray is usually my color scheme.
I do like black, and
Yeah.
gray, some white thrown in there.
Can't go wrong with black. It's a very
No.
nice shade for Spartan armor.
Yeah.
Um,
Slimming on a Spartan.
Yeah, I tend to wear a lot of black in real life, and I've missed having places to go where I can dress nicely. I have a gorgeous little black dress that I just haven't
Yeah.
had occasion to wear for like a year, and I would love to be able to wear this dress. It's brand new.
The
Haven't worn
dress
it yet.
and the nail polish to like an awesome gaming event or something.
Wouldn't that be fun to just
It
put
would be.
on my dress and my nail polish and like go to an after party at E3? Wouldn't that
It
be
would
great?
be dope.
Well,
I
it's
would love
not
to go to
gonna
E3.
happen.
Ugh.
That's tough luck, Rick. It's not going to happen because E3 was canceled. In-person E3 was canceled. They say that they're going to
Shucks.
have an online E3 again. I didn't really think that last year's online E3 was much to speak of. It wasn't. I felt like Jeff Keighley's knockoff E3 had a lot more announcements and excitement than actual E3 did. And I don't know. It was just, I found it tremendously disappointing. Just tremendously disappointing. And they're just making fun of me in chat. And Rick, you don't know. I'm great at Halo. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm very good at Halo. And it doesn't matter if I'm pink or not. It's fine. You guys are terrible. You're terrible.
Of course we are. But you didn't like E3 not in person last year?
I didn't. I didn't feel the excitement. I didn't.
Yeah. Have you
No.
felt the excitement recently though with E3? I mean, well, not recently, I guess last year, but wait, would it have been 2 years? Wait,
The
it would
last
have been
one was 2019. The last in-person E3 was 2019.
okay. So 2020 and 2021 were both.
2020 was flat canceled. They didn't have
Oh,
an
was
online
it?
thing at all. It was just straight up
Oh,
canceled. And then 2021 was online.
right.
And now 2022 is going to be online as well. So
Yeah, maybe they'll do it a little better.
we'll see. We'll see. I don't have much in the way of hope. I
Yeah.
think I think Jeff Keighley's event, I've forgotten what it's called, Summer Game Fest, I think. Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest will it highly likely have more, exciting announcements than E3 will, whatever they do.
I wonder if these events are going to shift more towards summer where there's less COVIDness running around and doing more in-person stuff. I wonder if these are going to turn more exclusive.
I don't know, Rick. I miss going to E3.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
It's a bummer. The year you were finally going to come,
And gets canceled.
canceled it. Yeah.
Stupid. Oh, well.
We're going to have to arrange a meetup sometime that's not dependent on E3.
E3?
Because apparently E3 is going to let us down. So
What if we hate each other in real life?
we might, and then we'll break up. Yeah, we might meet each
Gosh,
other and
like-
just be like,
Lean just farts all the time.
yeah. I'm like, I thought Rick would be taller. And he's actually like very, very short. And it bothers me.
5'7".
5'7". Yeah. Vendor will keep the peace, is what
I don't think
Solier
so.
says. I think Vendor's likely to be the saltiest one of all of us. He'll be like, oh, these two are a bunch of slobs. I can't live with these people. Get me out of here. I'm going back to Canada. But yeah, we do need to meet up
Yeah,
sometime.
we definitely do.
That's not something to talk about on the show because that's personal plans. But you know what is something to talk about on the show?
What?
PlayStation VR 2. Yeah,
Ooh.
it's been announced. PlayStation VR 2 is detailed, and they've also announced a Horizon game for PlayStation VR 2 called Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a PlayStation blog post. And they have a new VR controller, and it looks pretty cool, I think. PlayStation VR offers 4K HDR, 110-degree field of view, and with an OLED display, you can expect a resolution of 2000 by 2040 for each eye, and frame rates of 90 to 120, which is pretty good. In my opinion, for VR, I think that's pretty solid and should help you with illness issues, I would think. It has headset-based controller tracking, so it tracks you and your controller through the cameras in the headset itself. Your movements and the direction that you look are reflected in the game without an external camera. So that will be really helpful for people who don't have a big room. There's some new sensory features, including eye tracking, headset feedback, 3D audio, and the new VR2 Sense controller is innovative, they say, and contributes to deep immersion. Headset feedback is a new sensory feature that amplifies the sensations of in-game actions from the player, which I'm pretty sure is just rumble for your head. Yeah, it is. It is. It's created by a single built-in motor with vibrations that add an intelligent tactile element. So it's just rumble, and it's a rumble hat. Is what it is.
It's a rumble hat.
A rumble hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope that it has like immersive headshot technology. So when you get a headshot playing a PlayStation VR 2 game, you just
Whacked in the head with a 2x4 feeling like, oh.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So it looks pretty cool. Is it something you'd be interested in, Rick?
No, because you have to buy a PlayStation.
Good point. Good point. I sure would like to buy a PlayStation. I've tried several times. I finally gave up. I tried for months, like probably a year. I tried for about a year to buy a PlayStation 5. And I've given up now. I've come to accept that I will never own a PlayStation 5. And I'll just have to wait to play God of War Ragnarok until it comes out on PC 3 years later. Which is unfortunate, but, you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So,
That's
you know,
disappointing.
it is disappointing. And you know what else was disappointing to Sony?
1 million sales.
Days Gone. Days Gone was disappointing to Sony.
How is that disappointing to Sony?
Because they're stupid. Rick, this game was a good game. Did you play it at all?
I did not, but like it seemed like everybody. It was like a weird thing. Like there was so much hype for it, and then it seemed like everybody was playing it, but then nobody talked about it.
There was some extreme silliness. Like there were some points in the story, and I never finished it. So to be clear, I don't finish games anymore.
That's normal.
But there were some points in the story that I thought were just very silly. But I enjoyed Days Gone, the time that I spent with it. I thought it was a great game. And it sold millions of copies, Rick. And this news came about because the former director of Sony Bend, the Days Gone studio, Jeff Ross, he was just sitting around and he saw this celebration of sales of Ghost of Tsushima, which I understand is also a wonderful game. Ghost of Tsushima recently sold 8 million copies.
Ooh.
And that's exciting. Sony was very proud of them. Sony was very celebratory about Ghost of Tsushima selling this many copies. And Jeff Ross, who was formerly the director of Days Gone at Bin Studio, he felt a little bitter about this because Days Gone sold 8 million copies too. It sold just as many copies as Ghost of Tsushima. Really? And it's actually sold more than 9 million at this point. And
what?
Yeah, including the PC release. It sold more than 9 million copies. But he says that local studio management made Bend Studio feel like Days Gone was a big disappointment, even though it sold well. Even before he had left Bend Studio in 2020, Days Gone had sold 8 million. So it's not that it's been out longer. It had sold 8 million within a similar time frame. And it's really strange that they reacted so differently to a game that sold similar numbers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some of the difference may be the fact that its Metacritic score was lower. Ghost of Tsushima had a Metacritic score of 83, while Days Gone had a 71. So that may be a factor in why they were not as excited about it.
Game companies, I think, look at that Metacritic score far, far too much. I mean, you know, that whole thing between New Vegas and Bethesda trying to hit that particular Metacritic score. Was it Metacritic score, I think?
It was Metacritic score, yeah. It was Metacritic score that didn't enable them to get a bonus. Yeah.
Some bullcrap like that, yeah.
Yeah. We also have some Joseph Tao commentary on this article. Joseph said, I love reading Joseph's commentary. I don't think he includes it to be read on the show. I think he just includes it like to tell us. But I like to read it on the show anyway. Joseph says, the reaction to Days Gone has always confused me. I knew a lot of people playing it when it came out, but no one spoke about it, despite no other big games coming out around it. Then we got stories that Sony management stopped them from making a second one despite good sales. I completely understand where this director is coming from, since it doesn't make sense, especially when compared to sales of Ghost, that is being glorified as a giant success with similar sales numbers. So, yeah, that is weird to me. And I do feel like Days Gone has a bit of a cult classic thing going on. I follow some of the Twitter accounts of people that made this game, and a lot of fans are regularly tweeting at these guys, fan art and stories about their enjoyment of the game. I feel like it does have a very devoted fan base. So,
Yeah. Well, wasn't this in development for a really long time? Because I feel like I saw that lumber mill zombie horde video for like 10 or 15 years before the game ever came out.
I don't think it was nearly that long, Rick.
I know, but it just seemed like it was in like a development for a very long time. But yeah, it was a weird game. I always thought for how many people played it versus how quiet of a splash it made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the best game in the world. You know, I'm not saying that it was a masterpiece by any means, but I thought it was fun. It was fun riding the motorcycles. It was fun. The story was silly. Dealing with the hordes was fun. It was fun sneaking around. I always, if there's a stealth, a possibility, I always choose that. And it's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. It was so fun. But, yeah.
Nice.
Well, you know what game is going to get a sequel, reportedly?
What?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, great game that you've never finished.
Another excellent game I've never finished. I need to go back to that one. I really do.
How am I supposed to talk about these games and my experiences with them if I am so afraid of spoiling them for you?
Well, Rick, the thing is, after a few months, like after like the 6-month mark, that's on me. Like, that's on me.
Because the game's been out for like years.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome.
It is awesome. The part that I've played. Really liked it. Don't get mad. Don't get mad.
Yeah. Darth Vader was cool in it.
I'm excited. I'm excited to eventually finish this game.
No, you're never going to finish it.
How long do you think it's been since I finished a game?
It's probably been a very long time. I've stopped caring.
Yeah, you've stopped getting mad at me about not
I
finishing games.
At this point, I need to like just have you play Resident Evil 8 on the stream, so that way we can actually friggin' talk about it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a game you'll never finish either.
Yeah, but that one though is because it's really difficult for me to get through the spooky games.
Nah.
It's really difficult. I'm playing it on easy mode, like the easiest mode of all the modes.
Really?
And and I still have like crippling terror all the time. And I just have to stop playing and just go out in the sun, and smell a flower and touch grass because I get so scared, Rick. And
you're not even at the scary part.
No, I don't think I am.
Dude, there was a part where I walked upstairs and I'm like, Sarah, Shalene is not going to do this. Like, it had me. We'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah, we're going to have to stream that together so that we can get through it.
And people are going to have a camera on you because it is... We'll talk about that later.
It's yeah. Anyway, Jedi Fallen Order reportedly will have a sequel that will be announced before E3 2022. And that's good. I mean, I hope it's there is a sequel. I hope it's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot they could do with that story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially since it's not like focused on anything of the main Star Wars canon. They can kind of go off and do their own universe stuff.
Yeah. So. I'm really, really excited for the Quantic Dream Star Wars game, Star Wars Eclipse. I love that style of game where it's largely a story-based experience. Mm-hmm. It's sort of a cinematic thing. And a lot of the internet seems to be super mad that Quantic Dream is making a Star Wars game because I guess there are some allegations that the workplace is not friendly to all people at Quantic Dream. I don't know the details about that, but I've seen that a lot of people are talking about boycotting this game because they hate this studio.
So 30 people aren't going to buy the game.
I don't know if
going to be like, eh.
To be fair, I don't know if these are founded accusations, but like, if I'm being honest with you guys, and I try to always be honest with you guys, even if they're a terrible studio, I would still play this game because I love their games. I love their
Yeah.
games. I love the product. And that's probably terrible that even if they're treating people badly, I still want to play the game. But I do.
Well,
And
the people they're treating badly need to make a living. So I mean,
anyway, that's tell me more if you guys know more about the situation at Quantic Dream and why people are boycotting. Feel free to write in at info@wejustlovegames.com. And I'm just gonna have beautifully fond memories of Detroit Become Human anyway, that I played obsessively for like 2 months in 2018. And you know what is another studio that's had a lot of problematic issues?
oh my gosh, all of them?
All of them, yes. We're talking about Ubisoft though. So
Oh, no.
yeah,
What now?
Ubisoft. Actually, it's good news this time.
Oh, good.
Ubisoft is going to bring its
Out of
subscription
business.
service, Ubisoft
Oh.
Plus, to the Xbox platform. Currently, it's available on PC, Stadia, and Amazon Luna, and it offers 100 games from the present and past, and provides subscribers access to new releases, DLC, season passes, and more. And it will
Nice.
be coming to Microsoft's platform. Alongside this news came news that Rainbow Six Extraction will be on Game Pass at launch on Microsoft's Game Pass.
I guess I'm gonna have to try that now.
Yeah, since it's free. I mean, you may
Since
as well.
it's free.
Since
Yeah.
it's free. Why are you against Rainbow Six Extraction? I don't know much about this game, Rick. Tell me why.
Because okay, it's the same essence as calling Assassin's Creed Viking World or whatever. I forget what what's the new
Valhalla.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, an Assassin's Creed game when it's not an Assassin's Creed game. And so like Rainbow
Yeah.
Six Siege and especially Rainbow Six Extraction are not
They're not Rainbow Six games.
No.
I
Like
see what you mean.
the old school Rainbow Six game, it was super tactical. All you had was like a little dot on your screen for like your gun reticle,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you could command your team. Like you could command your team to the point where you didn't have to move a muscle, and if you were good, they would beat the mission for you. Like
That is super fun.
I used to do that on the 64. So yeah, I mean, that's why it's frustrating because it's like you've taken what Rainbow Six was and you've like bastardized it into basically the Division with aliens and a first-person shooter, which is fine.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
like a
just
fun
not-
game.
Sure,
But it's not
but
Rainbow
kinda-
Six.
But it's kind of like, I mean, it's just like that Left 4 Dead premise. It's nothing new, and it just sucks that feels like they're trying to sell the game based on the name, and it'll probably sell fine. It'll
But
probably
they're
be
sort of
streamed and-
betraying the property's identity.
Yeah. I mean, Rainbow Six was just something so different, and it just sucks that it's
Mhm.
gone way past where it used to be. So that's why I'm kind of like, ugh,
Yeah.
about it.
And when titles like this are successful, that makes it less likely, or makes it feel less likely, in my opinion, for you to get one of those traditional titles that you loved.
Exactly.
That's
But
how I
it's
feel
somebody
about the
also-
Assassin's Creed series,
Hmm.
Origins and Ancient Greece. I forgot what that one was called. And Assassin's Creed Viking. All of those are fantastic games. To me, they don't feel like Assassin's Creed games. And they've been wildly successful. I think they've sold more than the traditional model of Assassin's Creed game did. And I feel like I'm never going to see a traditional feeling Assassin's Creed game again. So,
Not under that title, but somebody will make something very
a
similar
spiritual
to it.
successor someday.
Because that's what happened. I mean, look at Back 4 Blood. I mean, that's exactly what happened there.
We need to get back to that one of these days.
It is fun.
Yeah, we should come back for blood.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know how to segue into this one.
No.
So there was this is a Jason Schreier article we're reading a gamesindustry.biz article about the Jason Schreier article because Jason Schreier works for Bloomberg and all their articles are behind a paywall. So, but the point of this is Ken Levine. Ken Levine was the mastermind behind BioShock.
Yep.
And BioShock Infinite. And he has a new studio. Well, I say new, but it feels new because it's never had a game. But his current studio, Ghost Story Games, is repeatedly in development hell with its current title. Nice. Employees from this company are reporting that the management of Ken Levine is just awful and it burns people out, and sometimes he'll throw out weeks or months of work and when that's not needed. 15 current or former Ghost Story Games employees were spoken to, and they said that Levine's behavior was demoralizing, and the debut game of the studio has been rebooted and has shifted direction several times. Levine reportedly singles out individuals and berates them in front of coworkers, which is something that I'm pretty familiar with. I've had lots of bosses that did that, and it's horrible.
The mark of a great boss.
Yeah, it's the worst thing. The worst thing. And he's constantly changing his vision for the game partway through development, which requires the team to throw out weeks or months of work. As an example, employees said that after playing Dead Cells and Void Bastards, Levine insisted that Ghost Story's project be changed to incorporate features from those titles. The story quotes a man named Mike Snight, which I think is a great name. Snight? That's a really good name. He was a founding member of Ghost Story Games, but he left after 5 years and called Levine a very hard person to work for. He said that he tried to change, but never fixed problems with his creative process. A quote from Snight is, "When it continuously goes in cycles and you don't align anymore, you kind of get tired of being part of that. I wasn't really happy anymore." They've been working on this first title for more than 7 years.
Oh my gosh.
And one employee told Bloomberg that it was on track, but even then estimated that it's at least 2 years away from release. Yes.
How are they still open? Like,
their parent company, Take-Two Interactive, must think that there's enough promise here. Levine's name must still carry enough credibility that they're willing to take this gamble, you know.
Or they're too far into it.
BioShock it's a touchstone in modern gaming. Yeah. And Levine has a lot of the responsibility for that. And I understand why, as a business choice, you would want to put trust in that. But this just sounds like a miserable experience to work at this company, and I hope these people are okay. Again, if the game looks good, I am going to play it. But
oh, sure. I mean, absolutely, but I this could be bad.
But you know where I won't play that game?
Where?
At a stoplight in my Tesla.
What?
Tesla has stopped letting motorists play video games while driving.
Okay.
Yes. This is a gamesindustry.biz article by Danielle Pardis. Tesla has rolled out an update to stop people from playing games on the car's center touchscreen console after pressure from safety regulators. The passenger play feature currently lets anyone in the vehicle play video games even when the car is in motion. But this update will limit that function so that it will only work when the vehicle is not moving. Earlier this week, the National Traffic Safety Administration opened an investigation into the software, following a complaint about the feature and how it might distract the driver, thus increasing the risks of an accident. So, the Vehicle Safety Act prohibits manufacturers from selling vehicles with defects posing unreasonable risks to safety, including technologies that distract drivers from driving safely, said the NHTSA in a statement. And so these new update will come out soon, and you can't play games in the Tesla while you're driving. Seems like a good call to me.
I guess so, but it makes me giggle where they're like someone complained about how it might distract. Like it hasn't even happened yet. They're like someone could, and it's just some
But Rick,
dinkwad. I yes,
you
it's
know somebody is playing games while they're driving. You know
oh
somebody's
sure,
doing that.
oh sure. I just think it's funny that someone complained and just opened an
Yeah.
investigation. Ugh, but yeah, I mean that's not good.
Yeah.
My car has so with Android Auto, I'm able to access games on my car, but there's a glitch in the system where I can't play them even while parked.
Really?
So yeah, yeah. Android Auto is kind of a mess.
Huh. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway,
Um I don't know how to segue into this next one, Rick.
something about accessibility. Woo, go.
Accessibility is something that's really important.
Yes.
And we've got this Polygon article about 7 games from 2021 that pushed forward accessibility. And of
Mm.
course, this is an issue we've talked about on the show before, that it's really important that games be inclusive to people with different levels of ability and people with different challenges, basically. And a bunch of these releases had some new standards in accessible gaming. Horror Tales The Wine is the first one on the list.
Huh.
And this game has visibility upgrades, including several text size choices,
Ooh.
8 different visual styles for subtitles, and examples of that are shown in the menu, and numerous styles for object outlines and for crosshairs. So you can do just a line or a crosshair dot, or you can have thick, bold lines. So
Nice.
that's really cool. This looks like a neat game too. Looks pretty spooky.
Ooh.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart has got features like customizable subtitle text size, contrast options, and it has simplified controls that can allow the game to be played entirely with the D-pad, face buttons, and R2.
Oh my
So it has a
gosh.
simplified traversal feature that binds all traversal to the circle button. And the standout feature is game speed, which allows the players to play in slow motion, giving you more time to react and make decisions. So
Oh.
that's a neat feature. That is a neat feature if you're not able to do those quick, twitchy reactions.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool. Yeah. The Veil, Shadow of the Crown, is an RPG game. It has it's been designed to be playable and even enjoyable for blind players. The Veil
Wow.
relies entirely
Okay.
on 2 senses, hearing and touch. To play successfully, you must listen for the subtlest of sound cues, which telegraph how an enemy is about to attack. World traversal also relies on sound alone. The only way for players to tell they've gone the wrong way and need to redirect themselves is to listen for the heroine's nuanced comments. And these are
Interesting.
common principles in audio games, but they've brought them to a wider audience with The Veil, which is very cool.
I kind of want to play this for like the audio side of things.
Doesn't that sound neat?
That's interesting.
Chicory, A Colorful Tale, is a game that revolves around painting a world that's been stripped of color. And you would think a game like this would be inaccessible to colorblind players, but the developer, Greg Lobanov, designed Chicory to be as inclusive as possible. This includes a full set of accessibility features, including text legibility and text effect options, but also introduced some accessibility considerations, like eye strain settings that make the stark white world in its uncolored state a little more bearable. And the painting mechanic is bound to both the touchpad and the right stick, making the painting aspect much more accessible than it would be with just a touchpad mechanic. And it features difficulty, cognitive, and emotional accessibility options. Players can toggle the option to skip boss fights, determine how many hits the character can take, and toggle content warnings when topics like depression are being approached by the narrative, which sounds pretty cool. Life is
Yeah.
Strange True Colors. Of course, this is a game that we're familiar with. Vendor and I have been playing through this. And they have introduced skippable QTEs and an adjustable timer for important dialogue choices. And that is something that I actually used for the purposes of our stream. A lot of times, the choice-based games, they want you to make your choices quickly. But because we're streaming it together, Vendor and I want to talk about our choices. So we don't want to make them in a snap. So I went ahead and toggled that to give us a longer period of time to make our choices. So
Yeah.
quite enjoy that. Forza Horizon 5 allows players to create avatars with prosthetic limbs and also features configurable game speed for offline play, braking and steering assists, and multiple subtitle options. And it also allows players to progress through the story even if they fail at some of the difficult story-based challenges. So they still get to see the end of the game.
The difficulty curve on this game is a 90-degree angle on some missions. Like some missions you have like minutes to spare before you have to get to the end to like get like 3 stars, but then there's like some missions to get 3 stars you have like less than a second of error time. Like I don't know why they did it that way.
That's wild.
It was like 2 different mission designers building missions, and one was like, I'll make it hard, and the other one's like, yeah. So yeah,
that's funny.
I think I've mentioned before my wife, who's a developer, and one of their biggest things is accessibility in websites. Her and her other developer friend were commenting on how accessible this game is to so many different players of varying skill sets and mental faculties. So like yeah, like this was like one of the first games I've seen with so many options that like anybody can play. Like, you know, my daughter, who isn't very, I mean, she doesn't play many racing games. Like, she's able to play this and feel like she's, you know, awesome at it and doing really good. You know, that kind of, you know, yeah. So like, it's really cool, all the different options that they have. So, and of course there are some. This is kind of interesting though, because there's some issues that they're running into with leaderboards, because you can set lap times and stuff where people are modifying the accessibility in such a way where they can get like 300 miles an hour and they don't have to steer at all. So they're cranking out crazy leader times, but they're not really doing it right.
Right.
So there's kind of a bit of when it comes to accessibility and like competitive, that's where things can get a little bit interesting to see how that's going to be tackled going forward.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
The last game on this accessibility list is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. And this game it's designed inclusive design from the ground up instead of just pasting on accessibility options after the game's, you know, done, basically. Star-Lord's visor mode doubles as a high contrast mode, which improves visual accessibility in a foundational way. And Guardians of the Galaxy also features closed captions that match the quality of those found in movies and TV shows. Players who are deaf or hard of hearing can be more immersed in the game world with overheard subtitles, resizable subtitles, and closed captions. The game also features cognitive accessibility options, such as sound focus mode, which lessens all of the non-essential sounds. And it also allows the player to extend the objective reminder timer and keep the objective visible for longer. Guardians of the Galaxy has set a bar in the industry for deaf and hard of hearing accessibility, and really did a great job with accessibility options.
It's awesome.
So, yeah,
that's good.
I think it looks like a really cool game. I haven't watched any of those movies, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies,
Yeah,
but I think it looks like a really neat game. I think it's something I would enjoy.
Nice.
I kind of think it looks like a BioWare kind of style game.
I haven't even looked into it. I'm not a big like superhero fan, so
yeah.
Eh.
I think it looks neat.
Yeah.
So, hey Rick.
Yeah.
What you been playing?
Oh, is there a sound drop?
Nah, their
Okay, all
vendor
right.
has one. I don't have one.
Okay. Well, let's see. I've been playing a lot over the holidays, and let's start at the first game that I bought a new game. I was talking to Shalene about how I really wanted to play Resident Evil 8, but I didn't want it to get spoiled before we did because I want to do it Survival Horror Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want it to get spoiled for me. So I had to buy it and I played it and I beat it and I liked it so much I started it again on
You've already
Game Plus
beaten
mode.
it.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's pretty short actually. Um and I'm replaying it on Game Plus mode, trying to get all of the treasure. And so there's a feature that you probably aren't aware of, maybe you are, that if you open up the map and something and the area you're in is red, that means you're missing something.
Yeah, I remember that from
Okay.
previous Resident Evil games. I don't think I'd really noticed that while I was playing this one because I
Okay.
was too terrified to be doing strategy.
Okay. So I'm going back through with you know, end of game guns and making sure I get all the treasures and stuff. And boy, I'm over halfway through the game and I'm breezed through. like it's not hard when you that's the thing I noticed about it. Even on normal, it was not a difficult it wasn't difficult.
Yeah, but like
There
Rick,
were moments.
we
No, I'm
have
talking
different
about combat.
standards.
I know, I'm talking about combat difficulty. Not because Resident Evil 7 was hard.
Mm-hmm.
You never had enough ammo for anything really, or at least the game made you feel like you didn't have enough ammo. You never felt like you had an edge on the bad guys, right?
Right.
Well, in this one, you get a magnum and a grenade launcher and some others grenades, and so you end up feeling like you've got a bit of an edge. Yeah. Um, it's not Resident Evil 4, 5, or 6 where you can shoot one of the things in the knee and then run up and kick it in the face. It's not like that, but you could certainly. There's certain enemies that you can shoot in a certain way to run up and knife them a little bit to try to conserve on ammo, but there's so much ammo in this game that it doesn't matter. But when you beat the game and then get some of the end weapons, it's no contest. It's no contest anymore. But where are you in that game, Shalene? Are you still in the mansion?
Yes. Yeah, still
Okay.
in the mansion.
All right. So there are I think the last time I was on, I talked about how I got frustrated by being followed by stuff that you can't kill. And the game ends up progressing where it does actually leave that trope behind, which is nice. And there was a moment, right, Shalene, where I'm not usually verbal when I'm playing by myself. Games have to really get me to feel an emotional way. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice really got under me and just
Right.
really made me feel. Cyberpunk 2027 or whatever still I can't remember that. Was it 2077?
2077.
2077. That game still, I have moments flashbacks of driving and listening to the music or certain missions and cutscenes and characters. That still sticks in my head. This one thing I literally was when this thing got revealed, I literally was like, Jesus Christ. That I said that out loud. Because this part was pretty damn terrifying. And I ran up to Sarah and I showed her a video of this part, and I was like, Shalene is not gonna do good, and I can't wait. I have to watch you play this because it is genuinely one of the most horrific. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So
the idea of doing this game as a reverse survival horror Sunday, where I'm the one running the controls instead of you, it seems like a fun time, but I'm also low key terrified to do this because
this Sunday.
I'm sure, but what if I can't do it, Rick? What if I can't?
If you genuinely can't, then I'll just take over and play it because
Okay.
you need to see this game. You
Okay.
need to see
I
these
really
moments.
want to. I've wanted to since the marketing for this game. But I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it, Rick. I don't know if I can.
I will say the story is not as there was something very engaging about Resident Evil 7 that Resident Evil 8 doesn't have. And what
Yeah.
they tried to do is they tried to bridge that gap between 7 and Resident Evil 4, and it felt like they got that. Because that's what it felt like to me. I liked the combat style of 4, and I liked the combat style of 8. I liked that they gave me bullets this time.
Yes.
But it didn't have that same kind of feeling as 7. And I think that's because they did give you enough bullets. I mean, there's certain things that, like, if I didn't have enough bullets, that game would have been a lot more terrifying.
No, is there going to be enough bullets for me?
Oh yeah, if you're on easy,
it's gonna take me more bullets than you.
Yeah, you should have plenty.
Okay.
And you can craft your own bullets.
Cause so, like I get scared and I like panic pull the trigger and I when I'm not even sighted in and there are wasted shots.
I mean, I had enough ammo. I don't. You're on easy mode, so that should have more ammo.
Okay. We'll start it over from scratch. We'll start a new playthrough.
Yeah. So I've been playing that. On that same vein, we got a Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, really?
And that is one of the coolest VR devices I've ever used. So there's a bunch of different little features on it that, like, if you walk outside your boundary area, it will go into IR pass-through, so you can see everything without taking it off. I have to kind of play with it a little bit because I do get more sick playing that one than I did the mixed reality, and I'm not quite sure why. But I immediately downloaded and started playing Resident Evil 4 VR. Now, that game is my favorite Resident Evil, and it is very interesting playing that in a VR situation with the chainsaw guys. And I mean, you know, they couldn't quite get everything first person, so like when they grab you, it cuts to a third person view, and you have to do like quick movements to like get out of the break and stuff like that. But so there's certain things that break that little bit of immersion, but it's still really cool to walk around that world that I haven't been to in forever. Mm-hmm. And you know, some of the creepy moments in that I can't wait to get to, like the castle when they speak this like kind of Latin. You know, they walk around in these hoods and they're like or whatever they say, and they run at you and they throw stuff. What's really fun is you can dual wield, so you can grab your pistol and grab your knife, and you can like shoot and slash. And so like when the bad guys throw axes at you, you can hit them away with a knife, so you can like actually do that. It's a lot of fun.
That sounds great.
And I was playing some hot dogs and horseshoes with it, with the Oculus as well, and it worked out pretty well. It's like there's no wires too, because I have it air linked to my PC, so I no longer have a cable to any of this. It's all wireless.
Oh, that's so cool.
It runs pretty good. The whole family enjoys it. Sarah and my daughter play this little puzzle game where they just sit on the floor and they build a 3D puzzle. And I turned on a feature where you double tap the side of it and it turns on the pass-through mode. So like if someone's like, hey, come here a second, you can tap it real quick and look or whatever. It's just
that's cool.
Yeah, dude,
so you're not like completely sucked out of reality. You can switch back in and
it's pretty cool. Where before, like when I would play Alex or whatever, I'd have to lift up the goggles to like see anything and then put them back down. And it has a head strap, so it kind of stays up a little bit better on your head. And the internal lenses are actually adjustable.
Oh, cool.
So like on the mixed reality, I kind of have to push the top down to like see clear sometimes. With this, I can adjust the lenses and I can see clear all the time. So maybe that's why I get sicker. It's too good. But so I've been playing that. Picked up Borderlands 3. My wife was told about a DLC for Borderlands 2 that's basically... Did you play Borderlands 2?
I played a bit of Borderlands 2. It wasn't for me.
Okay. Do you know who Tiny Tina is?
Yeah.
By chance?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. So she has a DLC called... I forget what it's called. But basically, you're a character in Tiny Tina's D&D game. She's the
Yes.
dungeon master, and other characters the players. And apparently it's really good, and there's a standalone coming out soon
Mm-hmm.
that's just going to be that style of game. So Sarah, I, and a friend of ours have been playing through Borderlands 3, the story in the campaign, and I forgot how perfect the writing of that game is. How utterly ridiculous and cynical and sexual and awful and horrific that game's writing is, and how it doesn't pull any punches, although they
Mm-hmm.
did change. The little dudes are now called tinks instead of midgets. So they did change that. But it's just the lack of caring about anybody's feelings in that game. Nobody cares about anybody else. And it is one of the most fantastic games to play. Like, Sarah got downed once, and then my buddy ran over and was rezzing her, and his character was like, "This is why I travel alone," or something. Like, just cynicism towards your own teammate. Um, yeah, it's such a fun game to play, and you can kind of see, like, they were joking. My friend and my wife were joking about how all the games they play are in the same universe. Like Guild Wars and Borderlands and Destiny. And they were joking and saying like Borderlands is like before Destiny. And I was thinking like, wow, like you can really see how Destiny was inspired as a looter shooter. Like Borderlands really defined the looter shooter.
Yeah,
Like
they,
they
they were
they
they were a
really.
pioneer.
Oh yeah. And it's kind of interesting that you tend to forget what came before sometimes. So when you go back and play these games, you're like, oh, this makes sense, and so yeah, Borderlands has been a lot of fun to play. And then I actually been playing Halo Infinite. My wife really
Oh,
said that
really?
the story was good, um, and so I started playing it, and I quickly realized that the entire open world is pointless to the story. Like all of the story missions are completely segregated off of the open world, and everything you do in the open world has no bearing on the story. So like, but still, I went around and got all the fobs. I beat all the high value targets, and like it has no bearing on the story whatsoever. But I got some cool weapons I'll never use. The grappling hook. When I first saw that there was a grappling hook in the game, I was like, ugh, like I'm so sick of these little assists. And now I'm playing games and I'm like, I really wish I had that damn grappling hook. I love that stupid. I love that dumb grappling hook, man. Yeah, you grapple an enemy and you slip forward and you, because I have it fully upgraded, so I do this pound thing and it shocks a bunch of them, or, it's fun to do all kinds of the little explodey crates. You can grab them and bring them to you, then throw them out at bad guys, and it just feels good when you like can do a bunch of different cool moves and whatever. It also gets me in trouble, like grappling off the edge of a cliff is fun. Is fun. But yeah, the story is really good. I like the fact that um the weapon AI that you're now partnered with, I really like how they've written her and how innocent she is in her facial expressions and everything. She's just very, I don't know how to explain it. I really like her character. I can't stand the pilot character. Did you play this game yet, Shalene?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay. The pilot character to me is just a whiny dude. Like they made him way too whiny, I think. But other than that, the story is really cool with um, the new enemy, what their motivations are. It feels like a classic Halo where you're going from like installation to installation and like triggering this thing and this big machine thing, and like back in the old quasi open world Halo 1, you go rescue submarines and you go to other installations and go underground and do these things in these big vast places with this cool looking architecture, and it feels very much like an old school Halo. um, and I find that I end up using the shotguns these days, and the kind of like heavy, it's not the battle rifle. It's not single shot. It's fully auto, but it kind of reminds you of the single shot battle rifle
Is it the
thing that they have.
DMR?
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of the DMR, except it's fully automatic.
Hmm.
And I really like that. So I've been playing a lot of that. And then I got another new game. I was a big fan. Do you remember the company called Sierra Games back in the day?
Vaguely. They were
thing.
adventure games, right?
Well, they made some adventure games. They also were, I don't know if they developed or published SWAT 3 and SWAT 4.
Ah.
And I was big into tactical shooters like Ghost Recon,
Mm-hmm.
the original, and then the subsequent DLCs, the early, Rainbow Sixes, and the SWAT video games. And basically, they would put you into scenarios, and you were in charge of a SWAT team. You had 4 guys in tow, red team and blue team. Each team had 2 members, and you had to give commands to those guys like stack up, check the door, mirror the door, breach an entry. You had to like yell at people, get on the ground, put your hands up, drop the gun, blah blah blah. Um, rescue civilians. You had to like any guns that were on the ground, you had to pick them up. So it was very like it was a SWAT. You were a SWAT. It was very tactical, slow moving. And there's a company that put out a game called Ready or Not. And Ready or Not is a spiritual successor to the SWAT games where it's the same kind of lingo. You have 4-man team, red team, blue team. You can pull up little cameras so you can watch what they're doing. The only thing that frustrates me is you used to be able to issue commands through the camera. So like you could be at one door and then issue commands through the camera to your team so you could breach at the same time. You can't do that in this one, but it's still in beta, I think. Early access or whatever.
Maybe it'll get better.
Maybe. But it is so hard because like people won't listen. I've had so many times people won't listen to you and they're like, I'm out of here, and they'll just run away. And like, what are you supposed to do? Like, I don't have anything. Like, I can't shoot them. They're civilians. I can't run and sprint really. I can. So like, I end up like hitting them with my gun to like get on the ground, whack whack, get on the ground, and they run. I'm like, So that can be frustrating, but it is very much a slow paced. You got to think about what you're doing.
That sounds like your jam.
Yeah, you mirror under door, and the guy's like, it's a mixed bag. You've got civilians and suspects, and you're like, all right, well, how am I going to breach? We can't breach with C2 because the C2 could kill a civilian on the other side of the door. Do you breach with a shotgun? Do you kick the door in? Because kicking sometimes takes 2 kicks, but then the guys know you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you throw in a flashbang? Do you throw in a stinger? Do you use CS gas? It's how do you do it in such a way where you don't kill civilians? It's a whole mixed bag of stuff, and it's been one of the most fun. There's different scenarios too, where it's like barricaded suspects, hostage rescues, active shooters. It's all kinds of different scenarios that they have in these different levels to kind of try out, and eventually when it comes out there's actually going to have a story mode behind it. So I'm excited for as that game progresses to see how it progresses, and it's a fun game. So, yeah. That's what I've been playing. Cool. What about you?
Almost nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, I played a mobile game.
All right.
The other day. Okay, so my mom plays this word game where you it gives you like a little wheel of letters, and then you make words out of that wheel of letters. And I thought, you know what? I really would like to play that game. I'm in the mood to play that game. I didn't know what it was called. And Mom was not around at the time, so
Wordscapes.
Is that what it's called?
Wordscapes. I play it a lot.
So I just Googled some keywords and was looking through word games, and I came across Wordament, which is a similar game. It gives you a little box of Scrabble tiles, and you make words out of the Scrabble tiles. And the thing about Wordament is that it's got Xbox achievements. It's made by Microsoft, and it has Xbox achievements.
Oh, well, you're sold.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I can do a little word game, earn some Xbox achievements. And I got quickly very addicted to Wordament. So there are so many levels to this game. There are something like 60 worlds, and each world has about 75 levels. So,
oh my gosh.
I am nearing completion of the first world, and I feel pretty proud of it. Some of the levels are very challenging. Some of them are very simple. Some of them leave me feeling super smart when I come up with a very long word or something. And there are always little sub challenges that they will give you, like you have to get this much score, but you need to do it while using the letter W 12 times. So like stuff like that. And it's very fun. So I've been enjoying Wordament. I really haven't done a lot of gaming. On a recent show, I talked about how I was in one of those weird places where you're not really in the gaming mood. And that persisted through the holidays for me. So I did a lot of reading, read a lot of books, watched a little bit of TV and movies. I watched Jungle Cruise with The Rock. It was really good. I really liked that movie. Did you see it? It was
Which
cute.
movie?
Jungle Cruise with The Rock.
No, is it kid friendly?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can watch that with your whole family.
I was gonna say because Evie loved National Treasure, and it kind of reminded me of that sort of.
It gave me original The Mummy vibes. This movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that good. It's not as good as The Mummy.
Okay.
But I feel like it follows the same formula as The Mummy.
Is it Disney Plus?
Yes, it's on Disney Plus.
Then we will watch it.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. It was a fun time. It's not a classic the way The Mummy is, but it definitely gave me The Mummy vibes. So.
I want to show her The Mummy someday, but she is utterly terrified of anything mummies.
Really?
Loves Egyptology. But she saw remember those DK books that had all the information? Like there's one that she's got on Egypt, and it has a mummy head in it, and that rocks her for a week. She's in our bed every night.
Poor kid.
She just can't handle it. So, but yeah, Jungle Cruise. That was something that's on my mind. I'm glad you saw. So it's cute. It's good.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Nice.
It was good. There are undead guys in it, but they don't really look like mummies. They look more like the Davy Jones Locker guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's more that style of monstrous guy.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, but it's very good. I recommend it. I also watched Disney's Encanto. That was really good. That was a fun little movie.
Evie's been watching that over and over.
Yeah.
Again.
It was a good one. I liked it. I enjoy how a lot of these Disney movies are having these subtexts about family situations, for Encanto, the in what was that movie called? Coco? You remember Coco with
I didn't see that
the
one.
Day of the Dead? Okay. Well, Coco has this Day of the Dead theme, and the little boy Miguel he goes to the land of the dead to get help from his grandfather, who he believes is a certain person in the land of the dead, because he just wants to play guitar, Miguel. But this story is also very much a story about having family on the other side of the border and the challenges of getting to see your family on the other side of the border, and things like that. And Encanto has a similar thing in that it's in one way, it's this lighthearted story about a magical house and a magical family, but it's also about not living up to your parents' expectations. And I love that Disney is doing that. I feel like it's the lessons that the morals, the subtexts that you get in these modern Disney movies are a lot deeper than what we had when we were kids.
What? Aladdin wasn't deep? Lying to get a girl? That's not deep?
You know what I mean, Rick. You know what I mean.
And suffering no consequences at the end of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I lied. I did all this, and I conned you, basically, to try to get your pants.
Mm-hmm.
But it all worked out. I got in them anyway.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Reading books, watching movies.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
That's it.
She's also seen Coco, but she said it was sad.
Yeah, Coco is sad. Yeah. It's an incredible movie, though. I recommend Coco. Not just as an animated movie, but it's an incredible movie. It's one of the most respectful movies to Mexican American culture. One of the most respectful pieces of media to Mexican American culture that I've ever seen.
I like that Disney is doing this, where they're exploring like other settings and other
Mm-hmm.
cultures to do these stories in. It's like, oh, good, look, it's another Pixar movie in San Francisco. Oh, good, look, it's set in New York. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
can we please move on from this? Because, like, yeah, just from what I've seen of in Kanto and Coco, is the 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 way that they look
Oh
is
yeah. Mm-hmm.
gorgeous. And so, one thing I would think it would do for kids is it might pique their interest to learn about that culture and
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
close that idea of it's over there, kind of mentality
Yes.
where it's like, oh, this is cool. Because one of the things that my daughter is into so hard right now too is Aztec culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why she's been
It's very
watching
cool.
Encanto, because it's kind of,
Yeah.
for her, it's all kind
She's
of,
gonna love Jungle Cruise.
yeah. Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to watch that. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
It's another thing that's really important about the representation of other cultures is just that people can see themselves in these movies now.
Mm-hmm.
Like my niece and nephew get to see Hispanic characters in movies and shows, and that's not really something that was available when I was a kid.
No, 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 not in a non-stereotypical way.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I
can't think of I can't think of one Spanish character from like my kid shows other than like Speedy Gonzales.
mm-hmm. And like sure,
The
Speedy Gonzales is super racist, but we love him anyway.
Oh, right, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's what I had. Like you had the sidekick to El Kabong, the donkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Speedy Gonzales, and then you had the other, the wasn't there like a lazy mouse with a
Slowpoke
big sombrero?
Rodriguez.
Yes, like
He wasn't lazy. He was stoned.
uh, I mean they're all great and iconic characters, but like I can't. I'm sure there are some, but I can't like from like Dexter's Lab and Cartoon Network. I can't think of any that were not,
Yeah, Joshy
you
Neurotic
know.
mentions Dora the Explorer. That didn't
Oh
exist
yeah.
when I was a kid. I'm older than Dora. Um, I remember being a college student and I was flipping through channels and I saw what was plainly a Hispanic character on a cartoon on the Disney Channel, and I was super excited. And I was watching it, and it was Handy Manny, and he was the janitor, and I was so mad. There was finally a Hispanic character, and they had to make him the janitor. Not that being the janitor is not an important and
I
worthy
know, but
job, but
yeah,
like
but it's
really, really,
of all the ones.
that's really, yeah. But yeah,
His name's
I would
Manny.
have loved Encanto when I was a kid because the protagonist looks like me. She has my hair, and
Oh yeah, it is curly, isn't it?
yeah, it's like my exact hair. That girl has my exact hair and the same shape of glasses that I wore when I was a child. And
Those big honking things?
yeah, uh huh.
Sheesh.
I would have been so excited to have that as a kid. So I'm really glad for kids that have those things now.
Mm-hmm.
But you know
That is
what
cool.
we have here on this show, Rick?
What?
Emails from our
Good
listeners.
entertainment? Oh, emails. Yes.
Yeah. You want to read this first one?
I do. All right. This is from Low Y or Slade. Um, so anyway, I'm loving Gamestack podcast as much as the Fallout Show podcast. Not sure if you remember, but I left a review about how y'all are helping me with the grind playing all the Fallout games, honoring my best friend that passed away. His son contacted me again, letting me know that his father had left him all his games. I told his son, since I'm living in China, that it would cost too much to ship games here. Plus, I don't know which games could pass through customs. I gave him a list of games I remember selling his father and sent money to ship those games to my brother, and told him that if there are any games he and his siblings wanted to keep for them, uh, then he could keep them for themselves. Donate the rest of the games to the local library, hoping they can bring joy to a child that can't afford to buy some games. He also left me his username and password to his Steam and other online gaming services. I know legally he can't do without writing permissions from companies. So my questions to y'all is, should I use his online accounts to play games? And two, do you think you should have the right to pass your online accounts to someone else when you pass away? And three, what is your plans for your online accounts when you pass away? Lawai Slade. That's an interesting question.
Isn't it?
One, I don't think we should answer because that might have legal ramifications.
Yeah, we don't want to incriminate ourselves.
No.
But I will say that this is America, and you should do what you want.
Different country he's in. Um, so two, do you think you should have the right to pass your online accounts? Yes. I don't know what all is entailed, but I feel like you just, you know, throw your username and password at someone. Yeah, you should. I mean, you technically do have control over all that, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that you should be able to pass your online accounts. I would like to see it done in a way that like, for example, if I got hit by a bus or whatever, and I had in my will that Rick is the beneficiary to my Steam games,
All the
that
achievements.
then it would just sort of blend my games into his library, you know. I would like to see that. But that's not something that we're going to see because in this digital age, we don't own our games. We own licenses to play our games. It's like a rental. It's more like a rental than an ownership of games. You don't buy a game, you buy a license to play a game. So
Yep.
it's just not how it works. That's not the terms that we sign up for when we choose to purchase and play digital games. The purchase, I say with air quotes, is not really a purchase. It's not proper ownership in the same way that you own a disc that you can hold in your hand. So
Yeah.
I would love to see a way to bequeath your library to someone, but I think it's highly unlikely that that would ever happen.
Well, and it's something I don't think companies are thinking about or anyone is even thinking about because it's all been developed in our lifetime. So we're not like when we start getting like 80 and
Yeah.
90, that's when conversations are going to start about what do we do with all this stuff now?
There was
Um,
actually a really interesting case, and I don't remember what the outcome was, but I want to say Bruce Willis sued Apple because he wanted to be able to leave his iTunes music library to his children. And I can't remember what the outcome of that was. I'm sure that he did not win, but it was an important precedent to set in terms of showing people that we don't own our digital items. We don't really own them the way that we own physical items.
can't you just like transfer account information over, like change the name on the account, change the email address and password, and then that person effectively just kind of takes control over it?
Yes, but I already have my own iTunes account, that I've spent
Yeah.
years cultivating,
But that's what
and
I'm
I
saying.
don't
Like,
want to just switch to yours.
well, I'm saying like
I'd rather
that.
be able to blend yours into mine.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about it much. I mean, all of, I use a password manager. So, I mean, I guess I'll just tell my kid where the USB is hidden with the master password on
Which,
it.
of
So,
course, is something you can do, but technically, I think it is against the terms of service for your kid to access that account after you've passed
yeah, I
away.
have no idea. We'll find out what happens. I don't have any plans for my online accounts other than I might set up like a Python bot to just post every once in a while to freak people out.
I love that. That's fantastic. I haven't made any plans for my online accounts. The only digital like plan that I've made in case something happens is that I've asked my mother to basically call you so that you could tell people if something happened to
Oh,
me.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
the contact. So if something happens to me, like you're in charge of letting all of my online friends know. So
Can I say that like I never want that phone call, but if it did come, I'm kind of excited to come up with a ridiculous way to do it.
oh my gosh, I should have picked Vendor. Should have picked
Like
Vendor.
like guys, like tag everybody and be like, Do you remember Shalene?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, we do." And I'll be like, "Yeah, she's dead." It's like, "Wait, what?"
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a freak like horse cart incident. I don't know, some New Mexican thing.
But yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
digital planning that I've done in case something happens. I asked my mom to call you. So,
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done anything like that. I mean, I don't know if Sarah would even bother to do anything online. I would just ghost.
yeah.
Poof. And everyone would be like, Rick had a mental breakdown and disappeared.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably find a way to reach out to Sarah because I would
Oh
worry
yeah,
about you.
totally.
So,
I'm sure you would figure out a way.
yeah.
The
So,
fact that both of our names are just plastered everywhere online shouldn't be difficult. But anyway,
yeah. So,
we have another email.
we
That was a
do.
little.
I'll
got a
read
little
this
dark
one.
there.
This one's from Dylan. And this email starts out, "Hey guys, I wrote in a couple weeks ago right before your 100th episode. I had started doing character journals that I was posting to Reddit. I remember that. It was really cool. They were like Fallout character journals,
Oh yeah,
and
those
he
were
had
cool.
styled them artistically. They were cool. Unfortunately, that has come to a stop, as well as pretty much everything else I had going on, as my wife and I lost our home and most of our possessions on December
Ooh.
11th to a tornado. We were incredibly lucky that we weren't hurt, and we even found both of our cats. However, we had just bought our home earlier this year, and to have it ripped away is still a heartbreaking and stressful experience. We're looking to rebuild, and as we're finding out, the price to build a comparable home is a lot more than what we're getting back from insurance. We've applied to FEMA and were denied assistance because we have insurance. We're working on an appeal, but we're not sure how it will go yet. We have set up a GoFundMe to make up the difference of what we've been given estimates on to rebuild. If you guys could share this link, I would be forever grateful. If you or your viewers don't have money to help, please do not feel obligated. We're resourceful people, and we will make it through the other side of this. That being said, any help we can get along the way is more than welcome and greatly appreciated. Thank you guys in advance for helping me spread the link. I hope you and all of your loved ones and everyone in the community is safe and well. Dylan." Dylan, we are
Oh
very
my
sorry to hear this
gosh.
news about your home. And we will post this link here in our Twitch chat. Rick, can you do that? And we
Yeah.
will also post this in our Discord and on our Twitter page, and hopefully get you guys a little bit of assistance. I'm so sorry to hear that this happened to you guys, but I'm very glad that you're safe and that you even were able to find your cats. And
How did they survive everything?
yeah, it's the house was completely devastated. You can see it on the GoFundMe link, the rubble that's left over. It's miraculous that they lived and that their pets lived. So,
Yeah, because that's wow.
yeah. It's rough. A lot of people lost everything to that tornado. And we're glad you're okay, Dylan, and we wish you the best. And that's a show, I think. That's a show.
I think so too. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can give, please do. If you can.
Yeah. So, yeah, also, I guess that's our show. We'll go ahead and launch into the ending. Oak and Crow Coffee. Visit oakandcrow.com to buy a bag of We Just Love Coffee, and $2 from your purchase will go to benefit the Children's Miracle Network.
Mm-hmm.
You can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com, info@wejustlovegames.com. Find us on Twitter at We Just Love Games. I am Shalene L. Vendortron is Vendortron N. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames, or join the group at facebook.com/group/WeJustLoveGames. Of course, also join our Discord by clicking the link below our Twitch page, or send us a personal message and we will send you that link. We record the show live every week at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. We are on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, etc., etc. Please like, subscribe, and review on your platform of choice. I think Spotify has podcast reviews now, so we need to check
Really?
that and see if we have any reviews there. And if you listen via Spotify, please leave us a review. We'd love to shout you out at the beginning of the show for a good review. Thank you so much for listening, for joining us. It was lovely being back. Rick, do you have a last word?
What did Tennessee? The same thing as Arkansas.